Today, I'd like to talk to you about three things. Firstly, why I want to teach. Secondly, why I want to teach teenagers in a high school. And then thirdly, why I want to teach history. Well, to answer the first question, very simply, is because I like it. I've had a lot of experiences in my life where I enjoyed teaching. Everything from my martial arts class when I was a kid and taught as an assistant instructor, moving all the way up to my current job where I work in a high school and teach second chance students who would have otherwise been expelled. I enjoy the process of giving knowledge and wisdom to people. I think that it is morally and philosophically something I'm very attached to. It attaches itself to the founding principle of my whole life, until the weak become strong and the strong become just, where strength is defined just as the ability or power to do things, and knowledge and wisdom definitely are the greatest strength out there. And just more or less just being a sense of righteousness, a sense of motivation that people have. And as a teacher, that's really what you're doing. In the military, I was the guy that everybody in my platoon would send their new guy to learn the basics of how we do things. I can't count how many new privates I walked around to the commander's office, the first sergeant's office, out to the motor pool, and so on, to teach them the basics of how we do things in our unit. There's a reason that they did that. It's because I took the time to be thorough. It's because I was able to adapt to new situations, to new personality types, because I was patient enough to help each individual person who came in, regardless of who they were. I even enjoyed the people that, if I encountered them on the streets, I would have walked away, without a doubt. Well, you might be thinking to yourself right now, well, if I enjoyed that so much, if I could teach in the military, why do I want to teach teenagers? Well, the answer is simple. I know a lot of people, myself included, that if they would have had better high school teachers, their life would have been better. There's a lot of lessons that you can learn in high school, and a lot of things that you should learn in high school that most people don't. You see, in high school, you are mature enough to start talking about the big things. What is right, what is wrong. Be able to develop that sense of identity. Be able to start questioning, what are your political beliefs? Where do you come from? But at the same time, you're still immature enough and ignorant enough that you need somebody to help guide you. And really, a history teacher is the perfect person to do that. So that's leading to the next point. One of the reasons I want to teach history. In history, you learn skills like identifying text, context, subcontext in a piece of information. God, if more people understood just that, can you imagine how many articles you wouldn't have to talk to people on Facebook about to inform them that that's not how any of this works? That's not what anybody's saying over on Capitol Hill, anyway. Can you imagine what life would be like if people actually crap tested the things they shared on Facebook? Just for a second. Or if they had the idea that they can do that they have the power to be able to test that sort of information. Everything changes. Can you imagine if you personally, just last year, thought about some of the things that you've learned just in History 222? Some of the things like chronological thinking you might not have ever thought about as a skill. Some of the things like critical analysis, historical critical analysis when it comes to an election. A lot of people don't think about these things because history is taught as a spreadsheet with numbers and timelines and names that you have to memorize and answer on a multiple choice test. And it's just not that. The fact is that history is the only philosophy, just like Napoleon Bonaparte said. And if it's taught that way, you can teach life to somebody. And if you can teach life to somebody, then they can teach life to somebody else. And the more people that really understand everything around them, the better of a society that we're going to be moving into. And that's why I want to teach history to high schoolers as a career. Thank you.